Hello, and welcome to this week's episode of the Being Podcast. It is a safe space that I've created for us to come together to think about how we think about and maybe how we might be able to tweak the way in which we believe, engage, innovate, navigate, and gain in every area of our lives, right? I'm your girl, Jada. I am still, yes, super excited to be here with you all as I continue to work through all the little kinks of being out here in person. For anyone who comes by to check it out. So I'm working on some things, but that's a part of life, right? How we get up and we, as the military taught me, how we adapt, improvise, and overcome. And so that's what I'm doing. But I am still, yes, excited to be here, still excited to drop new episodes every week for you amazing people who continue to be on this journey with me. Thank you. I will always say thank you because I do not take it lightly that you are spending a good 20 minutes with your girl. So thank you for that. And if you are brand new, if somehow you have just come across the channel or come across the podcast via Apple or Spotify or even on Anchor, welcome. Welcome. As I said, this is a safe space that I've created, and I believe it was last episode. I believe that in order for us to be vulnerable, for us to share our stories, to share our fears, our concerns, our dreams, our hopes, all of that, it requires for us to have a safe space. And so that's what I have attempted to do here and will continue to do. So welcome to you as well. I hope this last week has been amazing for you. We had a couple of challenges. Our baby girl, the older one that I'm always talking about, Miss Olivia, she actually got sick and it was very scary for me. It's interesting if you have kids. You don't want to not believe them. It's not about that, but sometimes you're just like, are you saying this because you're trying to get out of something? Do you want attention? Am I not giving you something? But for a few days, she was talking about her hips were hurting, her legs were hurting. She was spiking these fevers. So, I got on good old Google because that's what we do, right? Dr. Moms all around here. Let me know if that's you. We need to stay off Google though. But I got on there around 10 o'clock on Saturday evening. And it was telling me that with like body aches and fevers and all this, like get to the doctor right away. So I told my husband, hey, you're going to have to cover down on the twins. They were already asleep. This was late, but Olivia had woken up out of her sleep and it was kind of scary and she was burning up. And I'm like, I'm taking her to the ER. So we went and they ended up admitting her for, a couple of nights and pumped her with fluids and got her good to go. So we are on the mend, but it was kind of an interesting week, and if you're a mom, if you're a dad, an aunt, anybody who's caring for somebody, whether it's your parents, if you are still blessed to have them, or grandparents even, or babies, animals, I was a fur mama before I became a mama to my two-legged babies. Anytime anyone is sick and they're in your care and you want to ensure that they're good, you drop pretty much everything, and that was the case. And so trying to juggle between like making sure the twins were still covered down, making sure she was good to go, making sure we understood what was going on with her. It was just kind of a crazy couple of days. But God, she's good. She came home. We're still doing all the fluids. We had a follow-up appointment and not back to normal, right? But doing our normal activities. So that's just a little brief or debrief of what happened with us last week. But we are all good. And I am super excited to have this moment to spend with you all whenever you're seeing this. So with that, I just wanted to get into, sorry, as I'm messing with this hair. I wanted to get into this week's topic. And I chose this time to do this because if you're like us, we are on spring break. And it's a time that people spend, of course, with families, going on trips. And we're not doing that. I think we'll probably wait another year or two, let the twins get up a little bit. But for me, I think it's a time that it's almost like Christmas, right? So people are taking vacation and being out of the office, for a little while anyway. And so it kind of helps to slow down the pace. And in that, I thought this would be a great week for us, if you're able to listen to this during that time, to just kind of really reflect on all of the things that we may need to look into to make us successful, right? And as working moms, as stay-at-home moms, as any supporter of anybody else, for the busy entrepreneurs that are getting after it, we see you too. But for anyone who it's not all about self, right? Where we're so busy giving to everybody else because that's just our nature and that's what we do. I get it. But there are times that we need to, as my husband says, go slow to go fast. Or as I like to say, it's okay to take a beat and take a breath, to stop and pause. And I think as I continue to get into more things, the coaching aspect of my purpose that I feel called to, raising my babies, still fostering and growing the relationship and the marriage that I have with my husband, and then those things I want to do for myself. Yes, I can get busy. I can even be overwhelmed, right? Because I'm trying to do all the things for all the people. And so even for myself, I have to stop. I have to go slow to go fast. I have to take that beat. And so that is really what I wanted to get into. And so the topic of this episode is what you need and why. And these are just Jada's, observations, right? Because we're all different and I can only speak from my experience. And that's what I'm going to share a little bit with you today. So with that, I've been really big this season so far of getting to that true identity, taking time to think about what it is that you desire, who it is that you are, the dreams and goals that maybe you've pushed to the wayside as you've taken on new titles and new roles and other responsibilities, but what is it that you really dream about? What are those things that just light you up and make you excited, that in the grand scheme of things, because of everything else, it may feel like you don't have the time for it, right? I'm there with you. I'm like, I would love to do that, but I don't have the time. I would love to do this. I don't have the time. But do we not have the time, or are we not making the time? That's my question for you. It's my question for myself. So I have to sit there and sometimes do like a time audit, right? And I've done this, not like the whole spectrum of like a week, but even like just looking back on a couple of days, and I'm like, man, that went so fast, because I did this and this and this. If you do a time hack, do a time audit of where you spend time, it can really be enlightening to what it is you say you desire to do, what it is you're actually doing, and correcting that, tweaking that so that you can really get to that goal that you have, right? So for instance, we all need that time to just decompress, after a long day or after a long week. Like, where do you find that time to decompress? And so for me, I will get on TikTok. I will sit there and I will scroll and I will look at those videos. And, if I'm not careful, I can look up and be like, oh my God, I've been doing this for 30 minutes. Like, okay, my babies are watching whatever and I'm sitting here doing this. And I'm like, okay, so was that 30 minutes really productive for me? Yeah, it helped me to relax a little bit, but if I have a goal I'm trying to achieve, does that help me? Right? So what are the things that we are doing that I will dare say we are allowing to be distractions from getting to our goals? What are those things that we really could, it's almost like don't eat the whole cake, just have like a little piece of the cake so you get a taste of it. Not saying don't have cake, but just saying don't eat the whole cake, right? So I'm not saying don't watch TikTok. I'm just saying don't take 30 minutes to watch TikTok, decompress for 10 minutes and then get on with whatever it is that you need to do. So, in saying that, I just suggest that maybe you look at that and say, okay, what are the things that I'm doing that maybe I need to look at and tweaking a little bit so I can get after the things that I really need to, that are going to move the needle forward for reaching my goals and my dreams. Also maybe like doing a vision board. I had wanted to do one for years. I even had a vision board party, y'all, like a few years ago. And poor Olivia, I think she was about 2 or 3 at the time, and she got sick, like literally threw up all over me. It was gross. Anyway, so it took me a couple of years, literally a couple of years, to get to doing my vision board, which is downstairs in my closet office. And I still use it, right? And I thought it was just going to be for that time period, but it is manifesting itself, right? It's coming to fruition because I do see it. I do look at it. And it's like a constant reminder of those things that I deemed important to me, things with my marriage or things with my family or working out or, eating better, mom's time, like getting out with my other mom friends. I'm super excited because I'm going to a concert soon. And it's going to be me and some mom friends, right? So I'm saying all that to say, did it all happen overnight? No, but has it happened over time? Absolutely. So maybe that's where you start. Maybe you sit and say, okay, who am I at my core? What are my dreams? And then what are the things that are going to help me get there? And what does that really look like? All right. So it's like, okay, I want to have financial freedom. Great. But what does that mean? And how does that look? Does that mean that you're starting a business? Does that mean that you are joining, like an already made business that you can just get in and work from, right? Does that mean you're getting a 9 to 5? What does that look like for you to have financial freedom? Great to have that, but how do we get after it? How do we break that down? So yes, having your dreams, having your goals, but having it visualized. And then, y'all, I think it's super important to have accountability partners. So for the last couple of weeks, I have been doing this. It started as a challenge, and it was like a hydrate and walk challenge. Sounded easy enough, coming in or coming out of having my knee scoped and not wanting to rush in and hurt myself and knowing I need to drink more water. I was like, this is great. So I asked a few of my other friends that are super busy, hey, do you want to do this challenge with me? And so it was like, what are your goals? What are you trying to get after? And then following up with them and them checking in on me. So we did that for the week, and it was amazing how when you really, and I just said this to a friend, when you really set your intention and then you let somebody know what your goals are and they help hold you accountable, it is amazing what you can do. Absolutely. Because when you're in a vacuum alone, when you are working alone, you don't have to be accountable to anybody, right? Because it's like, okay, they don't know. So who's going to check me, boo? As Sheree Whitfield from Real Housewives of Atlanta would say, who go check me? So it is, to me, I think it's imperative to have people to not check you, but to check in on you, to walk beside you, to be like, hey, you got it. You only got 16 more ounces. I'm like, okay, let me get these 16 ounces in. So we did it for a week. And then my group of friends, we decided that we were going to continue to do this. And we have. And I have, not easily, because it has not been easy for me still. But see, I keep water around. So I have like my bottled water. I have my cute little cup so that, motivates me to drink more. But we've continued to do this, and I will say that I, at minimum, get in at least my 70 ounces, which has been my goal. And eventually I will increase that. And with my steps, I was like, okay, I'm going to start at 7,000. Okay, I'm going to do 7,500. Now I'm up to, okay, I want to do 8,000 steps a day. May not seem that great for, great of a goal for somebody else, but for me, it's something that is attainable, even though it's a little bit of a reach. And so I am just saying all of that to say, find you a good group of women or people or support, whoever that comes from for you. Tell them what your goals are. And then know this, you're not judged if you miss it, because life happens. I don't get it all the time. I've been pretty consistent, but I don't get it all the time, right? Olivia being sick, that threw me off a little bit. And it happens, and it's okay, because when you have a good group of people around you that really love and care for you, they want the best for you. And so they are there to encourage you. And even when that happened, they're like, hey, you got stuff to deal with. Don't let that derail you. Don't let that get you off course. Let's correct it and get it, get back on track the next day. So I am saying that to say it is not only crucial to know what it is, to know what it is, that you want, but to share that with other people, because they are going to be your biggest cheerleaders to help you on those days that it is super hard to motivate and inspire and encourage yourself. Me included, raising my hand if you're just listening to this. So, this is a time, I think, just take this time, or when you have spring break or some downtime, or create that time in the mornings or in the evenings if if you can, or in the middle of the day, like block that white time, that white space, so that you can just go and decompress and think about the things that you want and then work on them. And then let somebody know, hey, I did this. I've reached this goal, right? Because I promise you, they're going to want to celebrate that with you. So take this time. I encourage you. That's my challenge. Do that for yourself. It's going to be so crucial. The other thing I want to talk about is as you are doing or coming to understand, the things that you want and desire and want to get after, right? Not just for you, but for your family, your friends, your community. Know that, yes, roadmaps and systems are so great to have, right? Because, it's like before we had our babies, my husband, who again has had, a previous life before me because he's my senior. But he would tell me, because I'm like, no, I want to have a baby. And I'm like, but I still want to work and all the things. And he's like, the biggest thing with kids is like a routine. Keep them in a routine. And we try very hard. Like even on the weekends, the twins are taking a nap around the time they would take a nap at school, right? So we try to keep them in routine so they understand and know what's coming up. Same thing for us. It is so crucial to have routines. It is imperative to have a roadmap so that you can follow, so that when that shiny object comes, because that'd be me sometimes, like, oh, I'm going here. This is where I'm trying to go. Oop, nope, I want to do that. No, have that roadmap so that you can, and not that they can't be changed. I'm not saying that, but I'm saying for the most part, having your roadmap in place and having your systems and your routines so that for you to have that second nature, so your subconscious knows what's coming up when your conscious wants to be like, no, I'm not doing that. No, I don't want to work out. No, your subconscious is like, it is time for you to get up and move your body. It is time for you to drink that water. It is time for you to schedule that massage, right? We are overdue. You will be in those routines of things where it will make life easier because yes, things are going to pop up. But if you know that on Mondays, like for me, for example, I strive, doesn't happen every week, but my goal is to do laundry on Sundays and Wednesdays because I can break it up, right? So I can do laundry, washing our clothes, washing the baby's clothes, changing the sheets on the bed, and also changing out the towels. So that way they stay pretty fresh. And I know, yep, this is the day I'm doing that, right? We know trash goes out on Thursday. So on Wednesday nights, I'm like, all right, Olivia, your chore is to go around this house and get the trash, right? So, I mean, yeah, that helps because we know that there was a certain day, but like if there's a holiday, then it moves a day anyway. But having the routines, and so it's like, this is what is expected. This is what should be happening. These are the results because this is what we're doing. I've been blessed to have a house cleaner, and she comes on Tuesdays, every Tuesday, unless things happen, but she's here. And so that helps us because we have that routine. We know certain things are going to be done. We know things are going to be in place, and it just helps to make the house run better. So just a few examples that I have personally. But yeah, routines and systems and roadmaps are so important. They're vital. And if you need any help with starting that or having a template or something, please reach out to me because I live by them. Maybe because I'm type A, but whatevs. If you need help in doing it, if it's something that sounds interesting, let me know. I am here to help you. All right. All right. So let's see. Intent, communication, and execution. So these are my buzzwords. And now I'm adding a new one for 23, which is consistency, which should probably be number one, but there should be a process, right? So going back to what is it that you desire, and then how do you communicate that? Not only for yourself, like how are you talking to yourself? We always hear talk nice to yourself, but how are you communicating that to your support team? How are you communicating? Like I tell my babies, I'm like, I can't receive your energy because that's going to kind of mess with mommy. So either you're going to have to go and figure that out. And when you're done, come back and see me. Or mommy, if I'm having a bad day, I'm going to go take a time out, right? So communicating that, so again, they understand what the expectations are. It just helps. It helps to meet that mission that you're trying to accomplish, or that goal. I say mission because, I'm an Army girl. But then the execution of it, right? So you have your intent. Yep, this is my goal. And then you're like, hey, I need to work. Okay, let's do an example. I want to work out 3 times a week. So to my husband, I'm like, I have got to make time to work out. So on Monday, Wednesday, Fridays, I am going to need for you to be in here and watch and cover down on the babies. If I'm not able to work out during the day, I'm going to need for you to cover down, and I'm going to go work out at night because I need that for me. And once that's understood, or we're looking at our schedules, then I have to execute that, right? And he's holding me accountable. I hope that makes sense. Maybe really simple, but just trying to get you to think about things like, what are your goals? And then how are you communicating it? And then how are you executing? And then, yes, consistency. How are we being consistent? Which will go into the routines, right? So if you routinely know, hey, I'm working out Monday, Wednesday, Friday, your body's going to start being like, yeah, I know I'm doing certain things Monday, Wednesday, Friday. It all starts to gel and it all starts to work together for your greater good, which is going to be for the greater good of everybody else, because now your cup is being filled and you're pouring in to other people. And I'm telling you, you're going to inspire your friends and your family because they're going to see a difference in you. And then you're sharing that. And that's also pouring it into other people, right? Paying it forward. I'm almost going to get out of here for y'all. Community. It's so big. I talk about this all the time. My village. I've been blessed to have a village of support. But I will be honest with you. Transparent. 100%. I keep saying I've got to find someone who is able to help me with my babies. In the picking them up and getting them to certain places, because as I am able to have people I can trust to help me with those things, it allows me to be, as they've said, in my zone of genius, to continue to work on those things for my financial freedom and my time freedom and those goals that I have. So to know that there's no guilt in having someone to help me to reach the end states, to help me take care of my babies, take care of my home, take care of myself. There's no shame in that. So if you're feeling guilty about that, let me know. Let's talk about that too, because I'll help you with that. That's a mindset block. And I had to get past it, and I can help you get past that as well, right? So community is so important, because not only to help you, but also for when you're kind of like, am I thinking about this right? Am I off? Have you been through this? What did you do? We need that, especially as women. We definitely need that community. So that is something I would venture to say that we need. You probably need it too. I know I do. So in the grand scheme of all of this that I've said today, I am just big on knowing how vital, how imperative, how crucial, all of my buzzwords, it is for us to be encouraged, inspired, motivated, seen and heard and felt and understood. And in that, I'm saying, take some time for you, figure out those things. If this lands for you, wonderful. If it doesn't, that's okay. But if you think someone else can benefit, share it with them, because that's what we should do. Help each other, because as the good book says, iron sharpens iron. But you are so important. And I may know you and I may not know you, but either way, I know you're important. I know that there was a reason that you were created to be on this earth, to do certain things, to be whoever's mom you are, to be whoever's wife you are, to be whoever's friend you are. There was a reason for that. And sometimes, yes, we can get lost in the sauce. We can get lost in the shuffle because we're trying to be everything for everybody. But lady, don't forget you in the midst of it, because you matter. And I'm telling you from experience, anything that you've felt or experienced or thought about, I'm sure I have too. So I am here. I believe that the link to my calendar is in the bio. I'll make sure it is. Reach out to me. Let's have a conversation, just to talk through some things if you want to, or for me to give you some guides that I have to just help you as you continue to shape your thoughts and your mindset and get after being who you've been called to be. Okay. This one went a little long, so sorry. But I was just super passionate about this, and I care about you. I care about your well-being, and I care about those that you love, that you want to continue to be there for. So with that, me and this crazy hair and these earrings, we're going to get up out of here. We are going to see you next week with a guest. I cannot wait for you to hear from her. She's super special. And as I've told her, and I'll share now and I'll share again later, believe that she really was a godsend to me, because somehow she found me through my podcast, and now we talk every day and we hold each other accountable and we support each other in all the things that I stand for. She embodies that as well. So I can't wait to have a conversation with her and to share it with all of you, knowing that you're going to get some good nuggets out of that as well. So be ready for that. Enjoy your spring break. Make time for yourself. And I will see you soon, or talk to you soon. All right, y'all. I'm out of here. Bye.